Another important hearing on Capitol Hill that has to do with your tax dollars. In fact, earlier in the week, we learned that there were claims that thousands of jobs had been created or saved by the stimulus plan that apparently, well, that's not the case. Congressional districts that do not exist. 15 minutes from now, you can see the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee hold a hearing on how the $787 billion in money is being used to create jobs and, well, who's accounting for that? Republican Congressman Jim Jordan out of Ohio is on that committee. Sir, good morning to you. Let me take the White House's side on this.
Morning,
the president, I'm doing fine, thank you, and thank you for your time. He says accounting is not an exact science. He says the errors that we're talking about are a side issue. How do you see it?
Well, this whole thing, if it wasn't so serious, it'd be laughable. I mean, as you said, phantom congressional districts, this whole new term we got now, created or saved jobs, which can't be measured, numbers pulled out of thin air. And you know, this is the same crowd that now wants to run health care, that now wants to take over 1/6 of our economy. I mean, this is a joke. And it highlights why we never should have traveled down this road of this big federal government spending. I've said many times before, if big government spending was going to get us out of this mess, we'd have been out of it a long time ago, because that's all this government's been doing.
But
and the American people know it doesn't work.
That money's in the pipeline right now. Will you account for how...
Well, they can't even keep track of the little bit that's been spent already.
Hang on a second. The 15th Congressional District in Arizona was put on this plan that did not exist. I mean, will you get an answer on that today?
Well, we hope we get some answers. But I think what this really displays is this administration is now showing a level of incompetence that makes their credibility suspect with every single American. And that's a real concern. When you have an administration that is this incompetent, shows this lack of credibility, I think that's a concern for a country. Think about what they've tried to do and what they've done this in 10 months. I mean, they've had a stimulus package that we know now doesn't work. They've passed a budget which led to the largest deficit in American history. They pushed this cap and trade concept, which we know is going to cost jobs, and do the very opposite thing of what we want to have in our economy. And now they're pushing for this health care. And then you couple that with what they're attempting to do in foreign policy, with the whole terrorist issue and bringing terrorists to this country and trying them here in this country. It's scary where they're headed, and it's making the American people very nervous.
I understand how direction you're going there, but for the sake of this discussion here, keep it on the hearing today. The White House claims that the data debate is frustrating for all Americans, including them, but it's a sideshow. As I mentioned what the president said, that was from a White House official quoted today on Politico.com. The White House also argues that time is on its side and the unemployment numbers continue to shrink. Now, we're up over 500,000. We have the number an hour and 15 minutes ago. Is time on their side, or how much time do we have, do you believe?
Well, I mean, look, here's the numbers we know that are real out there, Bill. We know that it's 3.8 million jobs lost since this administration come into office. So time is not on their side. We need to turn this economy around as quickly as we can for the American people. And that's why we need to get focused on cutting taxes for small business owners out there so we can create jobs, not moving down this big government path of spending more money.
That's the 15 seconds I have here left, and I apologize about the short amount of time. A lot of news breaking here. By the end of the day today, what will you be able to tell the American people about what you found out about stimulus spending and government oversight?
Well, we hope we can get a little more accountability out of this administration. That's first and foremost. Remember, this is the administration that told us, you know, don't mess with Joe. Joe Biden, Vice President, was going to be on top of this and report this data. And here we get these made-up numbers and this lack of accountability. That's the problem. Hopefully we can get some answers in this committee hearing.
We are watching it. Jim Jordan, a Republican from Ohio. Thank you, sir. 12 minutes. It gets underway.
Thank you, Bill.
We'll watch it from here. Allison.
And we're awaiting big health